Chapter 24. Following Velda, Grace watched her establish a small base in the city, under the old museum. Its rickety generator needed some work, but she had it up and running soon enough. She listened out daily to the same radio frequency for Special Branch. Nothing. If anyone survived, they disappeared into the woodwork, as Annika said. Many seemed to have joined the SMC, who pushed back the crime syndicates. Bunch of mindless thugs. She couldn't believe they had abandoned her in Special Branch along with all hope and responsibility. She was the only one still prepared to fight for everything they believed in. Asterisk. Less than 90 miles from where Velda lay her head, Grace could see castle walls shrouded in fog. Guards could be seen patrolling lofty stone wall extensions, which surrounded the keys to their beloved England, Dover. The Volkov had secured it some months back. Their emblem and body armor now caught the eye of the moon, its silver glow exchanging glances with Kevlar and sharp steel. Grace could see these new 50-feet concrete walls had been extended to encase both the castle and harbor, transforming it into a modern military base, courtesy of Orsini construction, while their iron dome kept drones and airborne intruders at bay. Inside, Dmitri's narrow gaze pinched on the logo spread across the wall, Orsini. No one was to come or go without Volkov approval, Petrov's approval. It never ceased to amaze Grace, the detail to which you could see things in Mobius. She could feel Dmitri's anger burn with such intensity toward his younger brother, known for shrewd decisions and his Midas touch. He felt Petrov stole the position of consigliere out from under him. Grace could feel his nails bite into her palms. Well, in here, right now, he was king. Dmitri looked down at his wife, who lay unconscious among a scattering of broken glass, as he fastened his trousers. Straightening out his collar in the mirror, he combed thinning black hair into place and adjusted his cufflinks while music and laughter wafted up the stairs from the hall. This evening's entertainment lay waiting. Asterisk. Through an adjacent curtain in Mobius, Grace could see a busy HQ in Denmark, where Geek tapped away below a dozen immersive screens that fed back the SMC's largest special op to date. Multiple teams were now strategically positioned across Europe. Tonight was the night. Hobbs, their project lead, hovered uncomfortably close, hanging over Geek's shoulder, anxiety palpable. While in the corner, Arden, otherwise known as Pockets, propped himself up at a table, which he'd covered in refreshments for himself. Geek flicked to Dover, zooming in on the 3 power boats about to depart from just outside Calais. As they set off, they formed an arrowhead, slicing through black water while reinforcements hung back in the Netherlands. They were on their own. Angular cast body armor coating the men inside these boats, who appeared more machine than man as they sped towards Dover, their key to England. On the boat, Grace watched Malau settling into the journey, pushing back his visor, strands of black hair flicking about his face where he eyed Bossman up at the bow. "Flying yet, Rose?" Dusty satire lofted through comms, spilling through the dark figure's earpiece. Reuter stood head and shoulders above the rest, dwarfed only by Millie. Malau grinned at the adjacent boat, whose entire team acted as counterweight to his muscle. Reuter's gaze cut back to Malau, a wry smile just visible as he released the clip on his visor. Grace felt struck by his appearance. It was almost angelic. His dark complexion made him almost invisible against the night sky, but for eyes that shone with a strength and insight she'd rarely seen. "Titanic's headless horseman," Malau drawled, humor failing to ease Reuter's concern. "Doubts, boss man?" "Dover's heavily guarded. They have the dome. No one's ever cracked this tech." Malau gave a thoughtful nod as he watched Reuter carefully. "Some would call this madness." "Just more stuff." Reuter relented with a shrug and the heavy pause that followed. He hadn't planned on being here, continuing to serve under a man like Hobbs, but then no one had planned on civil war or the troubles that followed. There was little option now but to help if he wanted a half-decent place for his kid to grow up. A smile grew at the thought. His little Alex. Hobbs was an asshole, but at least he was a predictable one to work under. If we're going for Europe, we need it. Transport links, supplies, the works. Malau gave a thoughtful nod before leaning back and closing his eyes as high winds sped them closer towards Dover. Mind clear, wind on his face. Reuter was a rare breed, smart, with good instincts. Tough as nails but fair. loyal but not naive. So why on earth he passed up Hobbs's position all those years back, he'd never know. He did sometimes wonder if Router regretted it, allowing Hobbs, a man like that, to take control. "I've done some dirty shit for disgusting folk," Router once confided, "but there are some positions I'll never assume." He never did elaborate further, though it seemed he was privy to something they weren't aware of. Speaking of which, Malau peered out the corner of his eye as it brushed the curtain of space-time and the shadows of light that danced behind it. He threw Grace a wink. He'd always seen them, these ghosts, ever since he was a kid. Most were helpful, a few mischievous. Thankfully, he'd only brushed past those who emit evil once or twice, caught glimmers of them behind the eyes, or carried in the voices of those they used. Not that he ever spoke of it. Experience taught him at a young age the price of that. Right there next to Router floated a red-headed girl, a beautiful peace around her. "I've a good feeling about tonight," Melau smiled, resting his head back. They were getting close. As they approached the cliffs, 2 miles out, Reuter gave the order to cut engines, and they rode the rest of the way with oars on tide. Visors down, sound locks active. Router gave the lads a quick recap. "Comms through this frequency only. We got 3 teams, 3 off-grid keys, lookout, keep, and gatehouse. We need to activate all 3 to allow changes to the Iron Dome." Router streamed the demo they'd been shown at base, the recap playing out on their headsets. "We do that. We let in air support, and Dover's ours. She's the key to England. I want maximum defector adoption. We're here to win a war, lads, not prolong the fight. Tranquilizers are your primaries. Understood?" Witty memes flashed across his visor in response. "I see high walls, top of high fucking cliffs." AMJ groaned as they washed close, holding up the sleeve of his body armor, grapple hook loaded. "This ain't gonna get me there. Less Flacco wants to share." Flacco grinned, flicking the stub of his joint over the side where it fizzed into black water. "We shouldn't be using jetpacks so soon, or exhausting ourselves with a climb carrying all this junk," AMJ grumbled, kicking his haversack. "He's old. Worried he can't get himself up no more." Maestro grinned at AMJ, who was now all starch. "I'm for efficiency is all." "That's what he tells the wife," Quatra chuckled, drawing a rare grin from the grumpy old mercenary. "Still think we overpacked. I've taken out an entire platoon with nothing but my bare hands and a shoelace." Maestro and a few others finished his usual skit with a grin, much to AMJ's annoyance. "And no one's broke through Orsini walls, let alone that Iron Dome crap," AMJ added, eyes intent on Dover before darting back to Reuter. "We won't be going through," Reuter assured, hand tapping his shoulder as he made his way to the front of the boat as it washed ashore. "Don't you say the sewers. I'm too old for that dirty shit." Chair shook his head. "Smuggler tunnels litter that side of the coast. Take us right through their back door." "I don't like it," AMJ growled. "Too easy for you." Grimmy chuckled through comms as voices from the lookout trickled down to the small cove they'd washed up on. Sharp rocks and patchy beach could be seen leading up to the mouth of the cave. "See that? They riddle this side of the coast. Easy means drama. Reeks of a setup. Say they block the tunnels." "Hope so." Light's para meme explode across their visors. "Our mole didn't mention the tunnels, just key locations. Besides, tunnels are old news." Chair swept the meme from his visor. "No one knows they there. Forgotten knowledge." He smiled, tapping his head. "If it's forgotten, how do you know about it? Dumbass." "I know useful shit." "No such thing as useful shit, you cagey fucker," AMJ mumbled on, eyes narrowing suspiciously on their most recent recruit from Special Branch. "Well, the wife enjoys throwing it," Burlow chuckled. "Made a sport of it, really." "And teamwork makes the dream work," Grimmy sniggered. But that was all they had time for, as back at Base Geek activate visor footage. "We're live, boys. Code for the grown-ups are listening." Reuter cast a rope for him to tie off before jumping out the boat, icy water splashing about his legs as he helped the others drag it ashore. They'd arrived.